Saudi Konaka, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is my first sit-down video since I've been in Thailand, so I'm using natural lighting today. I think this is probably the best location in my room for this video. In today's video, I am going through 10 of my biggest culture shocks since moving to Bangkok. So since trading London for Bangkok, and no, it will not include some of the things you might be expecting, such as squat toilets and things like that, because I've already mentioned I've been to Thailand a few times, and I've been to the more rural parts of Thailand where I was using squat toilets all the time. Didn't faze me. The first cultural shock I found was how helpful everyone is. Like, honestly, I cannot put into words how many times I've messaged back home or spoken to my family and friends back home, and the first thing I said is, oh my gosh, they're so helpful. This is just not something we would have in London. Like, we are just not helpful people. And I know that people always say that Londoners are, they're so like quiet and they don't talk to anyone, they're unhelpful. And I've always been like, why are you just hating on us for? We are so great. And then coming here, I'm like, I see what you meant now. We are not helpful at all. So for example, I was at the Grand Palace and I was walking back to the MRT station from Grand Palace. I know the route myself, and I was stopped twice by people saying, no, you're going the wrong way. The Grand Palace is the other way. And I was like, oh, no, I'm going to the MRT station. They're like, oh, okay. And then I even struck up conversation with some of them. That would never happen in London. Never. If a Londoner saw someone, a tourist, walking in the wrong direction, we would probably think, I wonder where they're going. Maybe they're going to the tourist thing. That's the other way though. Their problem. And then we'll probably watch them walk all the way back again. They're going the right way now. We just wouldn't help. But here, everyone is so helpful, and I was like, this is amazing. This is how it should be. The second cultural shock for me has to be my network coverage. And that is because in London, the second my foot hits the underground, even sometimes hits the train, which is overground, my network is like, we do not cover this area. Okay, please try again later. Whereas here, I could be on the underground, my phone is like, we've got you girl, don't worry, keep sending those messages, keep checking that internet, we have you covered. London, what are you doing? What are you doing? My third shock was touch-free buttons. I saw them, the first time I saw them, my friend literally went like this to a button on a lift, and I looked at her as if she was a Jedi. I was like, wow, wash on, wash off. We don't have touch-free buttons, okay, we don't. So I was very shocked. I was like, this is amazing. Fourth cultural shock was paying utilities. And the reason why this is on the list is because of how many ways you can pay it and where you can pay it. So for me, I paid my electricity bill yesterday and I went to 7-Eleven and paid it. This was mind-blowing for me. Part of me didn't believe it. That's like going into Sainsbury's with your water bill or your EDF bill and being like, can I pay this? They would be like, are you insane? Why are you in here? Are you buying things or not? If not, leave. Mind-blowing. So in the UK, we can only pay utility bills directly or through the bank. That is it. The idea of going into a shop and paying for a bill for like not a government bill, but like a utility bill, honestly, it blew my mind. Number 5 has to be medicine here. So coming from the UK, we are what we call a nanny state. So that means we have one of the highest, if not the highest amount of CCTV cameras in the, well, definitely in London. I'm not sure, I can't speak for the rest of the UK, i.e. the government is always watching. Someone is always watching what you're doing. This applies to medicine. So for you to get any form of medication in terms of, I'll say the strong stuff, so like antibiotics, strong painkillers, those sort of things, you need a prescription from your doctor. Coming here, and they're like, drugs, drugs, drugs. You get drugs, you get drugs, everyone gets drugs. And the reason I say that is if I wanted to buy paracetamol in the UK, you can only buy, so they come in boxes of 16 and you can only buy a maximum of 2 boxes. Came here and I was like, I need to get some paracetamol, go to Boots, and I see a box of 100 tablets just on the shelf. I was like, am I being punked? Am I on TV? This is allowed? We can buy these? And so I bought my bottle. There was no like ID, no why do you need this? It was just like, yep, boom, off you go. The 6th biggest cultural shock for me is walking. And the reason I said walking is I am from London and so I'm very used to walking to places. Especially because in central London, we don't really drive unless you're like, maybe you have to drive, like you're an Uber driver, you're commuting or something like that. We either walk or we take the train. And a lot of times, here's a trick if you're going to London, make sure you check the walking time between underground stations because sometimes it's easier to just walk. It's quicker to walk. So I'm very used to walking. I came here and I was like, I'm gonna walk. So I've walked around, I've walked to different parks and things like that. And then I tell my friends and they're like, yeah, we don't do that here. Why are you walking? Like, why? And I get it. There's multiple reasons. A, boiling hot. B, traffic. Not gonna say much more about that because that is on my list. And I get why they don't walk and they have cars, and like most people in Bangkok have cars or have motorbikes or scooters. But for me, especially when I saw the overpasses, because I was like, this is amazing, it's sheltered, you can walk. But then I was like, oh, no one does this here. Okay, just me. Okay. But I still walk because I'm like, get those 10,000 steps in a day. As promised, traffic is on the list. So number 7 is not necessarily the traffic, but the amount of traffic and the fact you have to have eyes in the back of your head, in the side of your head, in the front of your head. You gotta have eyes everywhere. You gotta be like, when you're walking, listen. I was walking and I saw a scooter on the pavement. For a second I was like, am I in the road? And I was like, oh no, okay, it's on the pavement. Noted. And then you're walking across the road and it's the green man, but it's not really the green man, it's like an optional green man. It's a green at your own risk man. So when you're walking, the cars are still crossing in front of you and you're like, okay, Jesus, take the wheel. And you've got to really be watching and you've got to look at the car like, are you letting me go? Can I go? Okay, I'm going. That is very, very different from the UK where pedestrians are basically king. And if that pedestrian steps out, your foot better hit that brake pronto. And if it's a green man, you better be on those brakes again pronto, otherwise you risk losing your license and your car. Compared to here where I literally saw some TikToks of people getting hit on the walkways and I was like, okay, noted. Don't cross the road. Number 8 of biggest cultural shocks has to be plastic use here. In the UK, it is drilled into us. We must stop using plastics to all have electric cars. We must unite to save the world. But then I came here and I saw the amount of single-use plastic. Like, for example, seeing an apple wrapped in plastic. All of these have been very unique to someone who's from London moving to Bangkok. But anyways, number 9 is this no return on sale items. Now, I don't know if this applies to all stores, but H&M, I'm looking directly at you and only you right now, because what is that about? What is that about? So they say in H&M, no return on sale items. This to me is a travesty. In the UK, H&M, all stores, you are allowed to return sale items. They're not allowed to refuse the return of a sale item. Of course, it does depend. They'll say you can return it, but you can only swap. So you can't get your money back, but you can swap it for something of the same value or get a credit note for the store. And the other thing, again, H&M, I'm going to add on some other stores for this one actually. H&M and Boots, I'm looking directly at you for this one as well. Why are your store cards not transferable globally? What is that about? Please, someone fill me in here, because I am a member in the UK. Why can I not claim points in Thailand? It's the same company, it's just a different location. And then my final one, again, this is very, very much a Londoner coming to Bangkok, but it's Harrods. This shocked me. I was shooketh. Again, we are always told there is only one Harrods in this world. Admittedly, there is only one Harrods of that size and magnitude in London. I don't think there is one of that size anywhere else. However, I have only ever seen Harrods in London, in Knightsbridge, and when they have their like outlet in the duty free in airports, because you know Harrods are bougie like that. I had been under this false impression for 26 years. Then I come to the big city in Thailand and I've seen 3 Harrods so far. They had a restaurante attached to the Harrods. And I even had a coffee in Harrods. It was £3. I was like, £3 for a coffee in Harrods, in London? Never. It would never happen. It wouldn't happen. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is the life. Those are my 10 biggest cultural shocks since moving from London to Bangkok. Please do drop in the comments what your biggest cultural shocks were if you have moved to Bangkok, or if you were surprised by any of my shocks. Let me know as well what sort of videos you would like to see. I am going to be filming a video about my visa process and how I got my ED visa and all things related to that. So that will be coming out soonish. So don't worry, have no fear. And as always, please do smash the like, the share and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, but most importantly, have a very, very blessed day. And until next time, Sawadee tukkonนะคะ Zaijian. Goodbye everyone.